What if I told you that entire civilizations, thriving, powerful, and advanced, have vanished without a trace? Great cities, once bustling with life, now lie in ruins, swallowed by the jungle, buried under desert sands, or hidden beneath the waves. Who built them? What happened to them? And how many more remain undiscovered beneath our feet? Picture yourself standing in the middle of a dense jungle, brushing away vines to reveal the remains of a once thriving city, or walking through the ruins of a desert kingdom, its secrets buried beneath centuries of sand. These lost civilizations aren't just history, they're hidden puzzles waiting to be solved. Welcome to Armchair Archaeology. Today we're exploring 10 lost civilizations that history forgot. Ancient cultures that once shaped the world, only to disappear so completely that even their names were nearly erased. Some fell to war, others to climate catastrophe, and some were lost to time itself. But their stories aren't over. And stay with us until the end, because we'll reveal something astonishing. Evidence suggests that ancient civilizations may have performed successful brain surgery over 3,000 years ago. The idea seems impossible, but the proof is undeniable. History is still being uncovered. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to Armchair Archaeology and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We uncover history's greatest mysteries, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Over 4,000 years ago, a vast and highly sophisticated civilization thrived in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. The Indus Valley Civilization, flourishing between 2500 and 1900 BCE, was one of the largest early societies, covering more land than ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia. Its cities, such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, were marvels of urban planning, featuring grid-like streets, multi-story homes, and an advanced drainage system that wouldn't be matched for millennia. Yet, despite their achievements, the Indus people left behind no palaces, temples, or monuments to kings. Their society appears to have been remarkably egalitarian, with no clear signs of a ruling class. Even more puzzling, their writing system remains undeciphered, meaning we still don't know their rulers, gods, or history. Around 1900 BCE, the civilization began to decline. Some scholars believe climate change played a major role. Satellite images suggest that the Sarasvati River, once a vital water source, gradually dried up, devastating agriculture. Others propose that earthquakes or shifting monsoons may have made the land uninhabitable. This is a haunting parallel to modern climate challenges, where changing weather patterns continue to threaten human settlements today. One of the greatest mysteries of Mohenjo-Daro is the discovery of dozens of skeletons lying in the streets, as if death came suddenly. Some early researchers were puzzled by traces of radiation found at the site and speculated about dramatic causes. However, modern studies attribute these traces to natural sources, dismissing the idea of ancient nuclear warfare. A civilization that once housed millions of people faded into history, leaving behind sophisticated cities but no clear answers. If their script is ever decoded, it could completely change our understanding of one of humanity's first great cultures. In the hills of southeastern Turkey lies one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries of all time, Göbekli Tepe. Dating back to 9600 BCE, this site is over 12,000 years old, making it nearly twice as old as Stonehenge and thousands of years older than the pyramids of Egypt. But what truly makes Göbekli Tepe remarkable is that it was built by hunter-gatherers before agriculture, cities, or written language even existed. The site consists of massive stone pillars, some weighing over 20 tons, arranged in circular formations. These pillars are intricately carved with images of snakes, scorpions, vultures, and other animals, suggesting a deep spiritual or religious significance. Yet the builders had no known metal tools, no domesticated animals, and no permanent settlements. This challenges the traditional belief that civilization began with farming. Instead, Göbekli Tepe suggests that the drive to build sacred sites may have been the catalyst for organized society itself. How did these early people transport and carve such enormous stones? Some researchers believe large labor forces must have worked together, meaning complex social structures existed long before agriculture. This means that the first great human projects may not have been cities, but temples. Adding to the mystery, the site was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE. And if you think that's strange, just wait until we reveal a civilization that engineered an entire rainforest, changing nature itself. Was this a ritual closure, a way to preserve a sacred place, or a sign of conflict or environmental change? Some researchers theorize that shifting climates at the end of the Ice Age forced its abandonment, a reminder that even early civilizations had to adapt to environmental challenges, just as we do today. But just how far back does civilization go? You might think cities and temples came after farming, but what if we told you they came first? Göbekli Tepe is a game-changer in archaeology. It rewrites our understanding of how civilization began and raises a fascinating question: how many other forgotten monuments buried by time are still waiting to be uncovered? Want to explore these stories in even more depth? Our ebook, Secrets of the Ancient World, dives deeper into these mysteries. Grab your copy through the link in the pinned comment. For centuries, the great pharaohs of Egypt faced a powerful rival in the north, the Hittites. Ruling over much of Anatolia, modern Turkey, during the Bronze Age, the Hittites were one of the world's first superpowers, known for their advanced military strategies, iron weaponry, and diplomacy. Their influence stretched across the ancient Near East, and their capital, Hattusa, was a massive fortress city filled with temples, palaces, and archives of written records. The Hittites are perhaps most famous for the Battle of Kadesh, 1274 BCE, against Egypt's Ramses III. This battle, one of the largest chariot engagements in history, ended in a stalemate, leading to the world's first known peace treaty, a copy of which is still preserved today at the United Nations. Yet, despite their power, the Hittites seemingly vanished around 1200 BCE. What caused their disappearance? Historians point to the late Bronze Age collapse, a period when great civilizations across the Mediterranean and Near East fell into chaos. The Sea Peoples, a mysterious group of raiders, devastated coastal cities, while droughts, famine, and internal rebellions may have weakened the Hittite state from within. Recent evidence suggests that climate change played a significant role, with prolonged droughts leading to widespread food shortages, just as shifting climates threaten societies today. For centuries, the Hittites were thought to be a biblical myth, until the 19th century, when archaeologists uncovered their ruins and thousands of clay tablets revealing their lost language. Once a dominant empire, the Hittites were almost erased from history. Their rediscovery reminds us that even the greatest civilizations can rise, fall, and be forgotten until the past speaks again. If you're enjoying this deep dive into lost civilizations, consider supporting the channel with a super thanks. It helps us keep creating high-quality content for history lovers like you. And tell us in the comments, which lost civilization fascinates you the most? South of Egypt, along the banks of the Nile, thrived a civilization as powerful as its famous northern neighbor, the Kingdom of Kush. For centuries, Kush was both a trading partner and a military rival to Egypt. But in 750 BCE, the Kushites did something extraordinary. They conquered Egypt and ruled as pharaohs of the 25th dynasty. These Black Pharaohs controlled an empire stretching from modern Sudan to the Mediterranean, reviving Egyptian traditions, constructing temples, and commissioning grand monuments. But the Kushites were not mere imitators. Their own capital, Meroe, became a major center of iron production, trade, and architecture, filled with over 200 pyramids, more than in all of Egypt. Unlike Egyptian pyramids, Kushite pyramids were steeper, smaller, and built in clusters, reflecting their unique architectural style. Imagine walking through a field of towering stone pyramids, their steep sides casting long shadows in the desert sun. These structures weren't just tombs, they were symbols of a mighty kingdom. The Kushites also developed their own writing system, Meroitic script, which remains undeciphered. Another lost language that could reveal more about their civilization if ever translated. The Kushites were also formidable warriors. Known for their mastery of archery, they earned the name Land of the Bow from the Egyptians. Their warriors were so skilled that even after they lost control of Egypt, Kushite mercenaries were sought after by powerful empires for centuries. By the 4th century CE, however, the kingdom of Kush had faded. The rise of Aksum in Ethiopia, shifting trade routes, and possibly climate change all contributed to its decline. Desertification may have weakened their ability to sustain large cities, much like modern concerns over expanding deserts in Africa today. Despite ruling Egypt for nearly a century and thriving for over 1,000 years, Kush remains one of history's most underappreciated civilizations. But their pyramids, their script, and their legacy as pharaohs ensure that their story is far from forgotten. Long before the rise of classical Greece, a sophisticated civilization thrived on the island of Crete, the Minoans. Flourishing between 2000 and 1500 BCE, they built vast palace complexes, developed one of Europe's first writing systems, and established a powerful maritime trade network. Their capital, Knossos, was a sprawling labyrinth of corridors and courtyards, possibly inspiring the Greek myth of the Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull creature trapped in an underground maze. Unlike many ancient civilizations, Minoan cities lacked defensive walls, suggesting they relied on their powerful navy for protection. Their artwork, filled with images of bull leaping, dancing, and nature, reflects a society that valued athleticism, ritual, and possibly even gender equality. Evidence suggests Minoan women held significant religious and social roles. But despite their achievements, the Minoans mysteriously declined. One of the most compelling theories links their downfall to the Thera eruption, a massive volcanic explosion on the nearby island of Santorini around 1600 BCE. This cataclysmic event triggered earthquakes, tsunamis, and massive ash clouds, devastating Minoan coastal cities and crippling trade networks. Some scholars even believe this disaster may have inspired Plato's legend of Atlantis, a great civilization swallowed by the sea. Yet the eruption alone may not have been enough to end them. By 1450 BCE, the Mycenaeans, early Greeks, had taken control of Crete. Did they invade, or did the weakened Minoans simply assimilate into their culture? Without deciphering Linear A, the Minoan script, we may never fully understand their fate. Though their civilization disappeared, the Minoans laid the foundation for Greek art, architecture, and mythology. In many ways, they never truly vanished. Their legacy still shapes the Western world today. Deep in the deserts of Jordan, an ancient civilization carved a city into the rose-red cliffs. The Nabataeans, flourishing between the 4th century BCE and the 4th century CE, the Nabataeans built Petra, a stunning rock-cut city that became one of the greatest trade hubs of the ancient world. Controlling key caravan routes, they grew wealthy trading spices, incense, silk, and precious metals, linking the Mediterranean with Arabia, India, and beyond. Unlike many ancient civilizations, the Nabataeans didn't leave behind towering armies or vast empires. Instead, they were masters of adaptation, engineering, and diplomacy. One of their greatest achievements was their advanced water management system, an intricate network of aqueducts, reservoir, and underground cisterns that allowed Petra to thrive in the arid desert. While other civilizations collapsed due to drought, the Nabataeans turned water into wealth, ensuring their survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Their rock-cut architecture, blending Greek, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian styles, is their most lasting legacy. The most famous structure, Al-Khazne, the treasury, was carved directly into the cliffs with breathtaking precision. Some scholars believe it was a royal tomb, while others suggest it had a religious purpose. Petra's grandeur was so extraordinary that when Western explorers rediscovered it in the 19th century, it was dubbed the Lost City. Despite their wealth and influence, the Nabataeans mysteriously abandoned Petra by the 4th century CE. Some historians believe that as Roman trade routes shifted, their economic power declined, forcing them to disperse. Others suggest that a devastating earthquake in 363 CE severely damaged the city's infrastructure. Unlike some lost civilizations, the Nabataeans weren't wiped out. They were absorbed into the Roman world, fading quietly into history. Yet Petra remains, its monumental tombs and temples whispering the story of a people who turned the desert into an empire. And don't forget, if you're passionate about ancient mysteries, our ebook, Secrets of the Ancient World, is the perfect companion to this video. Check out the pinned comment for the link. Long before the Maya and Aztecs built their great cities, another civilization laid the foundation for Mesoamerican culture, the Olmecs. Flourishing from 1500 BCE to 400 BCE in what is now southern Mexico, the Olmecs are often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica. Their innovations in art, religion, writing, and city planning influenced nearly every major civilization that followed. One of their most famous legacies is their colossal stone heads, massive sculptures, some over 9 feet, 3 meters tall, and weighing up to 50 tons. Each head has distinct facial features, leading scholars to believe they represent rulers or warriors. Transporting these massive stones from distant quarries would have required an organized workforce and advanced knowledge of engineering. But their achievements went beyond art. The Olmecs are believed to have developed one of the first writing systems in the Americas, though their inscriptions remain largely undeciphered. They also played a central role in the origins of the Mesoamerican bull game, a ritualistic sport that became a sacred tradition across later civilizations. Some researchers even suggest they created the earliest known calendar system in Mesoamerica. Despite their accomplishments, the Olmec civilization collapsed around 400 BCE and their cities were abandoned. The cause remains uncertain. Some theories suggest climate change, volcanic eruptions, or internal conflict played a role. Studies of ancient lake sediments indicate that a severe drought may have led to food shortages, forcing people to migrate. A fate that has threatened civilizations throughout history, including today. Though their name was lost to time, the Olmecs' influence lived on. From the Mayas' writing system to the Aztecs' religious beliefs, echoes of this forgotten civilization still shape Mexico's cultural identity today. Scattered across the American Southwest are the remains of an ancient civilization that built towering cliff dwellings, vast ceremonial centers, and intricate road networks, the Ancestral Puebloans. Flourishing between 500 CE and 1300 CE, they created some of the most impressive pre-Columbian structures in North America, including the massive complexes at Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde. At Chaco Canyon, they constructed multi-story great houses, some with over 600 rooms, making them among the largest buildings in North America before modern times. These structures were aligned with solar and lunar cycles, suggesting an advanced understanding of astronomy. The ancestral Puebloans also built a vast network of straight, wide roads, stretching for miles across the desert. Some of these roads appear to have no clear economic function, leading some scholars to speculate that they had ritualistic or symbolic significance. But by 1300 CE, many of their largest settlements were mysteriously abandoned. What happened? The leading theory is climate change. Tree ring studies show that a prolonged drought between 1276 and 1299 CE may have made farming impossible, forcing communities to migrate. Others suggest resource depletion, internal conflict, or warfare played a role. Oral traditions among the Hopi, Zuni, and other descendant tribes suggest that migration was not necessarily a collapse, but a spiritual and cultural shift, with communities moving toward better lands. This makes their story especially relevant today, as parts of the American Southwest now face record-breaking droughts and water shortages. The challenges the ancestral Puebloans faced serve as a reminder that even the most resilient societies must adapt to environmental changes. Though their great houses now stand empty, the descendants of the ancestral Puebloans continue their traditions, ensuring that this civilization, though changed, was never truly lost. Western explorers long believed that no great civilization could have thrived in the Amazon. The dense rainforest, with its poor soil and harsh conditions, was thought to be incapable of supporting large, complex societies. But recent discoveries have completely rewritten history. Using LiDAR scanning technology, archaeologists have uncovered massive ancient urban networks, roads, causeways, and even pyramids hidden beneath the jungle for centuries. These findings suggest that before European contact, the Amazon was home to a civilization that may have rivaled the great cultures of Mesoamerica. Unlike stone-built cities like those of the Maya, Amazonian settlements were made from wood and earth, materials that quickly decayed in the humid environment. This explains why early explorers saw little evidence of civilization, despite indigenous oral traditions describing powerful, lost societies. One of the most astonishing revelations is that the Amazon itself may have been shaped by human hands. Researchers have identified vast areas of terra preta, or Amazonian dark earth, a type of nutrient-rich soil that was deliberately engineered by ancient people to support large-scale agriculture. This suggests that the rainforest, far from being untouched wilderness, was in part a carefully managed landscape, capable of sustaining millions. So what happened to this civilization? The most widely accepted theory is that European diseases like smallpox and measles wiped out up to 90% of the population before their society could be documented. With the people gone, the jungle quickly reclaimed their cities, leaving behind only traces of their existence. These discoveries prove that history is still being uncovered, and that the story of the Amazon's lost civilization is only just beginning. If vast cities could be erased so completely, what other civilizations might still be waiting to be found? If you love unraveling ancient mysteries, check out our ebook, Secrets of the Ancient World. It's packed with insights on lost civilizations, advanced ancient technologies, and legendary artifacts. The link is in the pinned comment. Ancient Egyptian records describe a distant land of gold, incense, and exotic animals, a mysterious kingdom known as Punt. For centuries, the Egyptians sailed to Punt to trade for frankincense, myrrh, ebony, ivory, and even live baboons, all of which were considered essential for religious ceremonies and royal tombs. But while Punt was clearly a major trading partner, its exact location remains unknown, making it one of history's greatest geographical mysteries. One of the most famous expeditions to Punt was led by Queen Hatshepsut in the 15th century BCE. Her temple at Deir el-Bahari features elaborate carvings of this journey, showing massive ships loaded with treasure and scenes of Punt's people. The artwork reveals that their homes were built on stilts along what appears to be a river, suggesting Punt may have been located near the Red Sea or the Horn of Africa. Some inscriptions even describe Punt as a land of wonders, rich in natural resources and exotic wildlife. So where was Punt? Scholars have debated this for centuries. Some believe it was in modern Eritrea or Sudan, while others argue it could have been in southern Arabia or even as far as India. Recent analysis of mummified baboons, imported from Punt and buried in Egyptian tombs, suggests they originated from the Horn of Africa, giving us a major clue. However, without physical ruins, its precise location remains uncertain. Unlike other lost civilizations that left behind cities and monuments, Punt exists only in written records. Was it a single kingdom or a network of ports scattered along ancient trade routes? Until definitive evidence is found, Punt remains a legend, one of the greatest lost civilizations that history forgot. History is full of civilizations that once thrived, building cities, mastering trade, and shaping cultures, only to disappear so completely that even their names were nearly erased. From the vast cities of the Indus Valley to the lost builders of Göbekli Tepe, these civilizations remind us that no society, no matter how powerful, is immune to collapse. Some fell to war, others to climate change, and some were simply forgotten as the world moved on. But history is still being uncovered. New technologies like LiDAR scanning and genetic analysis are revealing lost worlds buried beneath jungles, deserts, and even the ocean floor. The Amazon's hidden cities, once thought impossible, are now being mapped in detail. The script of the Indus Valley Civilization could one day be deciphered, unlocking secrets about its people. With every discovery, we come closer to rewriting history. And now, as promised, here's something incredible. Evidence suggests that ancient civilizations may have performed successful brain surgery over 3,000 years ago. Archaeologists have found skulls with carefully drilled holes, some showing signs of healing, meaning the patients survived the procedure. The Inca, Egyptians, and even Bronze Age Europeans may have understood neurosurgery better than we ever imagined. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history's forgotten civilizations. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. What lost civilization fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep history alive.